Hi everyone, Nicholas Lee here and welcome to section number 5 of the anti-script closing system. Today we're going to talk about phase number 2, which is the stack. It's stacking the pressure, and as you can see, what you need to remember to be able to master the stack phase is just the acronym BECDOU. BECDOU. Remember those letters, which means barrier, emotion, consequence, decision, ownership, and urgency. In this training, I'm going to go in more detail with each of them. It's still going to be a very basic level of training, and later on I will go in more detail into every single dominoes to share with you the nuances as to how you use them, to keep the training short so you get the most of this training and you can start using it in your own life, in your own sales. Do take action. Again, as you're going through my training, guys, I strongly believe you're going to get ahas. So if you have a piece of paper on your laptop, start writing down those ahas, because it will be amazing if you could then make sure you share it to the community. Share your ahas, share your wins, because like I said all the time, if you share your learnings and share why it's a learning and teach it to someone else, you will learn twice as fast. If you share your ahas in the group as well, that means other people will also benefit from it, and you will get to benefit from other people's ahas. So let's all work and help each other. Share your wins as well, because it gives me some great testimonials, but also it will encourage others and it will inspire others to get more wins as well in their own life and business. So let's get into it. Like I've mentioned before, the reason I have the stack is to use the leverage we've just built in phase number 1. And now it's about stacking the pressure so that the prospect feels the pressure and wants to make a change. People may feel this is manipulative, and it is. But here's the thing, guys. Manipulation is not a bad thing. You know, if you go to a back doctor, a chiropractor, they are going to manipulate your back so that it gets fixed. It gets put in the right place. And again, disclaimer, only use what I'm sharing with you here only if you've got a great product, a great service that you know will really make a difference in someone's life and everyone will benefit long term from it. Okay? If you don't, please just stop selling what you're selling and change your industry. Change what you're doing, because it's not nice to not provide good value. Okay, so let's dive into this right now. I could literally be on this, but let's move on. I've created some nice slides. Let's go into it. So we're going to go in the stack. Okay, stack the pressure. Now, if you guys remember on the, actually that's a great training, guys. If you guys remember, for the first phase, it was stack, it was set. And remember, it was DAT. I'll let you kind of take your time to figure it out. But D was for doorway. A was for anchor. T was for timeline. And if you remember, we got 3 leverages at that point. On the D, we asked them why they came on the call. And if they didn't give you good answers, you could use the fact that they've taken half an hour from their day to be with you. So that's a leverage. On the A is the anchor, meaning you want to know what's the goal they want to achieve, right? And that's an anchor for the whole call, because your whole call will revolve around the fact that they want to achieve that goal and why they haven't achieved it yet. Okay, this is where the stack comes in, but that's leverage, because you've got a very important piece of information. By the way, that would have been received within 30 seconds to a minute on the call, when in the past it would have taken me tens of minutes to get this information. That's why I've built my system the way I did. I'm a lazy mother. I want to get calls done quickly so I can go back to sleep. That's why I've built it. That's the reality of it, guys. All right, then we got to the timeline. Another leverage, because the longer they haven't achieved the goal, the bigger the pain and the bigger the leverage you have. It's a bit like, you know, it's a bit like a lever. The longer the kind of the lever, the easier it is to pull on the lever, and therefore the easier it is to put on the pressure Okay, so let's get into the pressure. First one is the barrier. Like, barrier is also the problem, but the reason I like barrier is it's a bit more tangible in people's mind, I would say. So remember, we've asked them, and by the way, again, think of it, it's a domino closing sequence. The first D, doorway, allowed me to push the domino, boom, onto the next one, which is, oh, okay, you came here to learn about selling, so what is your goal with selling? How much you want to make? You came here to lose weight, how much do you want to lose? Which tipped over the next one, which is, how long has it been since you've been wanting to achieve this goal? Now, if they haven't achieved the goal, we know there have been a time frame since they thought about it to still not getting the goal, which leads us to the next question, which is very, very sequential. Oh, you said to me you haven't achieved the goal for the past 12 months. I'm curious, what has stopped you from achieving the goal? Okay, what are the barriers? What are the challenges? What are the problems that has stopped you from achieving the goals? Okay, now there will be a longer training on this because it's a bit deeper than just what I'm going to say now, but I'm going to keep it high level just to keep the training short, and then we're going to go deeper. So when you say what has stopped you, they're going to be like, let's say sales, right? They're going to be like, oh, well, I'm struggling with nervousness before a call. Okay, they might also say, oh, it's objections. I always struggle to handle objections. Or they may say, I don't have a script, or I have a script but it doesn't work. Those are the three key problems that you would usually hear in my situation, and most likely this is how you are on this training today. You may be struggling with one of those. Okay. Now, the key thing I will teach you now, which you can use throughout the call, guys, you want to write this down. It's the question you want to use as many times as you can. You can use it 100 times in a sales conversation, in a normal conversation. No one will ever think that you're asking it too many times. It is the question, which is, what do you mean? Okay. One of the biggest issues I used to have, and that I see many people still have to this day, especially the beginners, but even some of the pros or the ones who's been there longer, is they assume what people mean. So let's say, for example, I were to say, oh, I'm struggling because I'm nervous on a call. Some people will just latch onto this because, again, they're using a script, they're following a script, and the next question is always, oh, tell me more about this, or no, not tell me more actually. They'll go into it. I don't know how not to do it anymore, by the way. It's hard now. But I'm sure some of you will assume something and just go straight into the next question. Okay? However, what you want to do is you want to go, what do you mean? Someone says, oh, I'm nervous on calls. That could mean so many things. Sorry. But you want to say, oh, what do you mean by that? Then they will give you the exact meaning to them, not to you. Right? So the whole point here is you want to understand where they're coming from. And let me give you an example of how crucial this is. There was a call I had with a guy who said to me, Nicholas, I don't feel I'm successful. And most people, right, you would have thought, well, he's not successful. That means he's homeless, or he's not making a lot of money, or he's lost his job, right? But I used the question, what do you mean by that? And guess what? He said to me, Nicholas, I've just closed a $20 million deal and sold my company, but I still don't feel that I'm successful. How crazy is that, right? If I had just assumed what not successful mean, I would have gone very, very off track, and I would really wasted the deal, lost the deal. Okay? And that's why it's important. And I'm going to go in detail. I'm going to explain that a bit more, but just to give you an idea, I'm seeding some ideas. There's so much to cover, guys. But here it is. Domino number 4, barrier. What is the problem? Now, Usually you want to get 3 or 4 of those problems. They're going to keep sharing different bits. Keep them in mind or write them down. Each of them, we're going to go back into them to go for the next few parts. Okay. Now let's say they're given to you the nervousness. You go, what do you mean by that? Okay. And then there'll be more questions, by the way. So I'm keeping it short so you know what to do and where to go. You want to go towards the emotion. Oh, nervousness. I mean, what do you mean by that? Well, I struggle every time I've got calls. I want the people just to cancel the calls. Oh, really? Like, how long has that been going on for? Oh, for the past 6 months. Oh, wow. How many deals do you think you've lost? I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7. How much money did that cost you? I don't know, 10 grand. And then, how does it feel to lose that much money? Okay. Now, as you can see, there's a few things that happens, and we're going to break it down in more detail in the other training. But hopefully you can go back to this training, rewind, have those questions. But whenever you go in a barrier, in a challenge, in a problem side, when you explore the problem, you always want to ask, or not always, but depending on what they say, you want to ask, okay, how long has that been an issue for you? What has been the impact? You can go impact personally, impact professionally. If you go impact personally, it will lead you to the emotion faster, okay? Because going emotion is what will ensure you get even bigger leverage, okay? Now, as you can see, we're stacking the pressure. We're getting them to open up about the problem. Now we've got them to open about the emotions they're having with the problem. Then we're going to ask about the consequence. Well, let me ask you this though. So you've had this problem for 6 months. You said you've lost $10,000 because you've not been able to close those deals, right? Now, what would happen if for the next 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, you still have the same problem of nervousness on the call? What would happen then? Okay, so by doing this, you're getting them to then expand. And by the way, I'm going to repeat it, guys. Go and do the Duty to Sell challenge, because I go in more detail about what I'm sharing with you here, how to expand someone's problem to make the cost even bigger. Okay, in the consequence, what we mean by that is it's also called the cost of inaction. If someone stays where they are and doesn't change, the cost is not only for today and for what happened over the past 6 months, a year, 2 years. It's what's going to happen in the future if nothing changes. Sometimes you'll ask the question, you'll be like, okay, if nothing changes, what happens? Some people will be like, well, nothing changes. You need to let them realize, no, it will get worse. Because if they've lost 10K in 6 months, in another 6 months, it's another 10K. In a year, it's 20K. 5 years, it's going to be 100K. So that's a lot of money. Plus the stress, plus the health issues, plus the relationship issues. This is where the consequence becomes massive. And that's how you build the pressure. And that's how you build the value that you can bring to them by solving their problems. Again, as you can see, we're still stacking the pressure right now. Okay? The consequence makes the pressure even bigger. Now, once you build the consequence and the pressure so high, you can then ask them about a decision. Okay, so let's say here they say, oh wow, well in the next 2 years, that means I would have lost another 20K, in 10 years another 100K. And then you pause, you let them feel that. Again, I'm going to share more about this in the emotional game training, but you let them feel that pain, that consequence, that pressure. And then you ask them, so do you want to stay there? Some people use, do you want to settle for that future? You can also say, do you feel, do you want to stay there? And if you've done it correctly and it's in line, and as you can see, those dominoes, it looks like a lot, but it doesn't take too much time. This goes one into the other to ensure you're stacking the pressure the right way to get you to the desired state of wanting to make a change. And therefore you ask them for a decision. Do you want to make a change? Do you feel it's time to make a change? You let them say yes. Do not say it for them. Let them say yes. Now, once they've said it, you want to ask them, but why though? This is a very important thing that I see many salespeople, closers miss. Anytime someone gives you an answer that you know they need to say, you need to put additional pressure on them by asking them why. And the why does many things. I'm going to share a couple. One is, like you said, it adds pressure. More importantly, guys, I'm going to get him to tell me why. Because if he tells me, he's going to have to commit to it. And remember the quote again. Write it down again, guys. I'm going to say to you so many times that you're going to just know what quote I'm going to bring up every time I'm going to do this. Whatever you say means something. Something put in capital letters, guys. Whatever they say, meaning your prospect, means everything. And put everything in capital letters. So every situation we get to get them to say something, but more importantly, the word why allows you to let them double down on what they've said. So if they say, yes, I need to change, I'm curious, why though? Well, because of this, because of that, because of that. This is how you build the pressure even more in their own mind. Okay? Which then leads us to the next one, ownership. Again, it's all pressure. Now, all of those guys, we are also handling objections at the same time. That's what I'm saying to you. There's so many layers. I need to teach you bit by bit, otherwise you're going to get confused. I'm going to seed some, I'm going to share some. Do write those ahas. I'm pretty sure there's loads right now, but keep on writing them. 8 is ownership. Right? Because the problem is, and I have got it myself, I'm sure many of you have had this, people don't want to take responsibility of their own decisions, of their own future, of their own actions. Okay, people will complain that they lost their job, that's why they don't have money. The economy is terrible, that's why they have money. COVID, AI, anything apart from them. So what we're doing here, in addition to just putting pressure, we're now making sure the pressure is on them. Because if you want someone to buy from you, you want them to realize that it's their decision. Again, for one thing, this is how you reduce your refund rate close to zero. You get them to make the decision themselves, because once they get into your program or they buy your product or your service, they're going to be much better clients. Okay? But here, it also allows them to not say, oh, I need to go and speak to my partner. Oh, I can't make decisions, because you're going to ask them. So that change you want to make here, who's in charge of that? And they'd be like, me? And guys, remember what I said earlier? What is the next question you can ask when you've got them to say something that they need to say? You ask them, why? Oh, you think it's your responsibility? Why though? Boom. Get them to confirm it, get them to reinforce it, get them to sell themselves about the fact that they have to take responsibility of their own decisions. Cool? I'm going to stop there with this part, but again, all of those I'm going to break down in a lot more detail on other trainings, because I could spend hours and hours and hours and speaking on all of those, right? There's so many layers to what we're doing, but by you learning bit by bit, understanding the principles, understanding what you're trying to achieve, knowing the goals you want to achieve at each point, you will master this skill very quickly and you will get results. Okay? Now the final one is something that I struggled a lot initially. It was about getting them to buy today. Okay? And I know many of you, I've tested it on marketing. Many people are getting, I need to think about it. Okay? Because you haven't asked them or allowed them to realize how important it is to make a change today, not tomorrow not in a month's time. And this is where you want to build the urgency. So you build the pressure so high, and you allow them to realize that now is the time and not tomorrow. And again, very important choice of words I've made, guys. It's you allow them to realize the urgency, not you telling them it's urgent. Again, remember the quote? Whatever you say means something. Whatever they say means everything. Throughout this script, throughout the phases, throughout the dominoes, it's always how can we get the prospect to say the words they need to say to help themselves get better solutions, better in a better situation. Okay. Now with the urgency, after they've said, well, it's their responsibility, now you can ask them. I'm curious though, like, do you feel now is the time to make that change? Or you could even ask them, like, when do you think is time to make the change? Okay. Now you could go both ways. If you're not too sure about the person that is going to lead into it, right, then, that's going to be more about the emotional game training when I'm going to teach you about personality types, because different personalities work differently and you need to be aware of that. But you could lead someone into it, right? You'd be like, well, do you feel now is the time to make a change? And as soon as they say yes, right? Because now they, as you can see, they are complying with us. They've asked, they're following everything we've said. You say, do you feel now is the time to make a change? They're like, yes. Guys, again, what do we do next? Why do you feel now is the time? And you'll get them to sell themselves as to why it is the time. Okay. So again, guys, there's more depth. There's more layers to this. For example, in the barrier one, they might give you 3 problems. You may go in those different dominoes on all problems, but you may not also go on all of them. Let me give you the reason why. So when you're getting those problems or those barriers, sometimes some are very mechanical as a barrier. So for example, someone could be like, actually for sales, they all can go emotional, to be fair. Most things can go, but some may not go. Like, let's say I'm looking at marketing and they're like, well, I need to do more, I'm struggling to do more videos, right? And you'll be like, okay, what do you mean? Well, I don't have the time. Actually, by asking what do you mean, you will get to the emotions. But what I mean is sometimes some people may not give you the answers you're looking for, or it may not go deep enough, and that's okay, because any information you're taking at the barrier level, the problem level, this is information, this is leverage that you're going to use later in the shape phase to create an ideal offer for them, to create a personalized offer. So like I'm saying, guys, all of those phases, all of those dominoes have been created in a way that does multiple things for you. And I can't teach you all of those at the same time. It will get confusing, but come back, watch it again, go to the next training. I'm going to share more. There's a lot more depth and a lot more levels and nuance to it. And the more you get to understand why they work, why we're doing it, the more you can make it your own. And this is my ultimate goal, guys. Help you build your own script, because you then don't need a script. You will just know what to say, when to say, because you understand the deeper meaning of everything. Cool. All right, guys. So that's it from me. And again, I'm going to keep saying those things because I believe it's my duty to sell to you. So if you do want to work one-on-one with me, or on a group coaching, or have more interactions with me and get results faster, okay, because maybe you've got deals happening right now. Let's say you're working in property, you've got 100K, 50K. Maybe you're closing deals, you've got clients you're speaking to. Maybe you're having 5 calls a week and you're losing 5K, 10K a week. Come and speak to me. Let's see how I can get you faster results. So instead of you losing 5, 10K a week, you start to close those deals. So you can reinvest in your marketing, you can reinvest in your team, you can duplicate the money you make. And of course, you'll give me my share. Makes sense, right? You know, a few thousand here and there, who cares if you're making 10 times more, right? So if you do want to have one-on-one with me or group coaching, again, let me show you where the link is. You go to community, you find the link here and you book a call, and let's see if I can help you. Also, guys, please, if you've learned something valuable today, come and share it in the community. Choose whether it's a win, whether it's a general thing you've learned. If it's a win, please do share, because I want to hear testimonials. For my marketing, I'm selfish. But no, also to inspire others in the group, guys. If you're struggling, choose the help and put it there. If you're struggling, by the way, guys, with your mindset today, and you've had a few calls, none of them work, book a call with me, guys. Let me help you. But also, come in the win section. See what people are doing that is a win. And then you will also build your own belief that you can do it. If you're learning something and you want to see what others are learning, come to the ahas. I bet you if you read what others are learning, you will learn even more. And then, yeah, usual, do the duty to sell challenge, guys. This is one of the most powerful training I've ever done. And there's a very specific reason I've done it over 30 days. Because this is a long-term training that will stay with you forever. Come here, study this, you will see the difference. Come and thank me later, okay? And also, like I said, in the calendar, right now you will see when the next trainings are, but those are live sessions with me, where I'm going to answer any questions you may have. Those dates might change, right? But right now, this is how they are. Also, some of the classrooms, as we get bigger and I keep building more trainings here, I encourage you to commit to your time, to your effort, to doing the work and engaging in the community. And the more you engage, the more you're going to be able to unlock more trainings for free. So I want you to be able to massively grow your skill for free by doing the work. Okay. Now, if you're in a hurry and you want to access other trainings, there will be money you could pay, of course. It's going to be very cheap, by the way, but there needs to be some kind of commitment somewhere, whether it's in your time or whether it's in money. That's how you get results fastest. I have paid my dues. I have invested multiple 5 figures, even more than 6 figures in various training, and that's why I know the things I know. So any training you do, guys, any investment you do, it's to get you more returns, but you do need to do the work. Okay, so that's it from me, guys. I hope that was helpful and that showed you how this anti-script closing system is so powerful and valuable. And again, there's so many layers. I can't wait to share with you the rest, and I'll speak to you later.